Let me start off with a question. Why is it, I ask, that certain speakers have the ability to communicate, express, and sound articulate without that sense of nervousness within their voice? Why is it that whenever I go up on the stage, whenever it is my time to talk, my palms begin sweating, my heart rate increases, your mind can't think straight? Why is it do people get nervous when it comes towards public speaking? To understand this, we have to understand the idea of nervousness itself. But before we get started with the video, I first want to thank everybody watching for 10,000 subscribers. 10,000! This is remarkable. I am truly impressed and astounded, and it seems like every single video I'm just thanking you again and again as we hit a new milestone. For this, I am starting a brand new series regarding public speaking that is unlike anything on this channel. Stay tuned later this week to see the first episode come out. But let's get started. What is nervousness? Scientifically, nervousness is caused when the mind or body are put in an inadequate or unnatural situation. As I discussed on this channel various times before, this is often called the fight or flight response. While I'm sure, and I do certainly hope, that none of your public speaking environments are dangerous or lethal to the body, the mind still perceives standing on a stage and delivering a speech as foreign or dangerous. As a result, this is where the first seed of nervousness begins. Your mind becomes alert because it isn't used to standing out or delivering a set of ideas to a massive crowd. Being judged by an audience can feel threatening at times because humans naturally care about acceptance and belonging. Many people fear, what if I make a mistake? What if people perceive me as unintelligent? What if I forget what I'm supposed to say? These thoughts create anxiety. Understanding this is important because it changes how we tackle nervousness and how many great speakers, after years of practicing, don't just eliminate that nervousness. They harness it and use it for the good. One of the biggest misconceptions and roadblocks I see regarding nervousness is that if you feel nervous while public speaking, it means that you are somehow an inadequate or not a great speaker. Many will use nervousness as an excuse to stay back, to suppress their thoughts. When I was younger, I was a very shy and nervous kid. I remember I would very rarely come up to the front of the class to talk. In elementary school, when I had a project or a presentation I had to deliver, I just gave it with nothing extra. I simply checked the boxes and refused any opportunities to better enhance my skills because I was afraid that those nerves meant that I was somehow less than or inadequate. This is one of the biggest reasons people fail to improve. The first technique I'd like to discuss is preparing. Most people get nervous because they are unsure of what they want to say. I personally equate this to walking over an unstable wooden bridge over a massive, deep canyon. You don't know if the next step is going to come. You don't know if you'll be able to stand or if the bridge will collapse. This is the feeling I usually get when I am underprepared. It's like trying to walk on thin air or trying to walk on a tightrope. That's why possibly the best way you can stop that nervousness is by building supports on that bridge. This comes by practicing. The goal is to ultimately prepare more than you think you have to. Because once you prepare those ideas, what you have to say, and it doesn't have to be verbal, it can be reading those set of points that you have, rehearsing in your head in a mock speech or a mock trial. The underlying goal with this strategy is to practice that speech as much as you can. After you do that, I want you to try reciting it from memory. Now, this may be impossible, or this may not apply to whatever scenario you're trying to do, but trust me, saying your speech that you practiced from your memory, even if it just be a few lines or a few paragraphs, prepares the mind for that nervousness or that feeling that is to come. When you walk on that stage, you aren't just walking in the dark. You are aware of what you are getting into. The second key technique is controlling your breathing. Because if I were to get nervous right now, my breathing becomes quick and shallow. As a result, my whole body starts shaking. This leads to many other problems within public speaking. This can increase the fear of anxiety, but intentionally slowing your breathing delivers the opposite message. It tells your nervous system, you are safe, you belong, you are ready for what is to come. Before speaking, try out this simple technique. Breathe in slowly through your nose. Hold it for a few seconds and then exhale. Clear your mind. Your mind will have thousands of thoughts dashing around at once, but if you control your breathing and clear out your mind at the same time, it can help immensely. And this is especially useful for if you have a sudden bout of stage fright right before you have to speak. The third technique is changing your mindset. Your mind is very often the biggest roadblock from preventing you improve. Many nervous speakers focus on themselves. Do I look nervous? Am I making mistakes? Am I ready for what is to come? Don't think about that. Your job as a speaker is not to serve yourself. It is to serve your audience. Instead of merely taking an individualistic, focused mindset, think about, how can I help these people? What information do I want them to get? How can I act as an encouraging role model for them? By adopting this teacherly or formal attitude towards public speaking, you automatically get rid of those internal doubts. Because remember, if your audience is impacted by your speech, that in itself is worth more than millions of words. The fourth key technique is to practice under real conditions. Many speakers simply read in their head or read out some notes. Practice standing up. Practice using your voice. Practice making eye contact. I myself find that speaking is drastically different from reading, especially when you're starting out. Practice to a friend, to a parent, to a peer. Even record yourself and watch the playback. Your confidence is never going to be created unless you take on that initiative and put your mind in identical situations to which you are expected to be in. For instance, if you are preparing a speech for a more formal setting without a podium, sit down in your living room, go to a nice flat area, and just give your speech. Practice the motions. Practice walking around. Doing that itself will help your mind be more familiar with the environment. The fifth and final technique for abating nervousness is channeling it. I want you to get it in your head that nerves are going to be inevitable. It doesn't matter if you've delivered 100 speeches, 1,000 speeches, if you give a speech every single day, chances are that primal fear, that nerve, will still continue to persist. But the idea isn't letting those nerves bring you down, but by channeling them into passion and energy. Perhaps if your breathing becomes shallowed and your heart becomes beating at a faster and faster rate, use that as enthusiasm. Perhaps if your mind becomes hyper alert and aware, use it to show focus or seriousness. Those emotions, those impromptu feelings are very often one of the most powerful things you could give your audience. Because one of the best things I find about nervousness is that it can make your mind do things you never thought it could before. Perhaps if your speech was bland and flat, maybe your nervousness can add that impactful meaning, that epiphany towards your oration that can make it more impactful and memorable. Your nerves make you human. Channeling those nerves makes you a human people want to listen to. At the end, if I want you to take away one thing from this video, it is that nervousness is natural. Say that one time. Nervousness is natural. The key is control. If you practice and you begin getting familiar with, staying in tune with what you have to give, your nervousness will transform into something bigger. It will transform into impact. Once again, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, share, and comment. We'll be starting a brand new series, and believe me, this is unlike anything else on this channel.